Ladies and gentlemen, all rise. Court is back in session. Welcome to another exciting episode of The Devil's Due. I am your host, Carl Duty. With me, as always, is a man who will be first in line to pick up one of the brand new in the line of Penny Marshall guitar amps, Mr. Drew Celestino.
You can't just let that lie. You're going to have to explain that. That's Penny Marshall. Wow.
You kind of want it now, don't you?
No, I don't. Go on.
Okay, so
lay this out.
Yeah. All right. So I'm old, and in my old age, I've needed to acquire glasses. And as anyone who has known me for some time can tell you, this is not a development of my old age. It's just I've needed glasses for some time. Been too stubborn to get them. So I get them, but I basically just need them for distance. I don't need them for up close. So I usually, when I do the show and I'm looking at the show notes and everything and whatnot, I take the glasses off. And as we're down here in Cobra Island Studios 3.0, I'm just looking around. I see that there's a guitar amp and the wording is very big. It says Marshall, but I don't have my glasses on. I don't see the bag above it. That now with my glasses on, I can see it says PV, but for a moment there, without my glasses, I thought it said Penny. I was like, oh, Penny Marshall line of guitar amps.
Yeah, well, actually, it's made for a giant keyboard the size of a floor.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
But I don't have Robert Loggia down here, so we can't really put it to use.
I think that was Gary Marshall. I think Gary Marshall directed
Big?
it. I think.
I have technology right in front.
We all have technology.
Look at this. Look at the future we live in now, where I can just type this in while I talk. Big. Ironically, not the first autocomplete result in IMDb. That is blasphemous. Big.
Was Big Lebowski the first autocomplete result?
The Big Bang Theory, actually. Not sad. Okay,
bit.
but it is the first title to come up, so that's good. On the search result. Okay, Big, directed by Penny Marshall.
Okay.
There you go.
I mean, I was
maker
in
of
the
fine
family.
amplifiers.
Okay, sir, here we are back again. How was your week?
Oh, let's see. I'm look at my calendar, actually, to see how my week was. Pretty uneventful. Well, Halloween happened.
Yes.
We didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid is not able to comprehend such things.
Yeah.
So I think Jen put him in like 5 different costumes throughout the day.
Yep.
Finally, in the evening, we put him on his Captain America outfit, which,
Like you do.
And he was awesome in it. So,
yeah.
But that aside, we didn't do anything. Stayed in.
And you didn't even hand out candy.
No.
Which is strange because you have a massive barrel of candy up there.
Yeah. Dude, I'm not responsible for the candy bowl.
Okay.
That's a wife thing. There it is.
Like, it's one thing to get it with the intention of handing it out and you not get any kids, but you guys just shut off the lights and closed up shop. So
it's just easier this way.
Okay.
I'm not eating any of it. I may have had a couple of the Three Musketeers, one of my unsung honorable mentions in the candy rankings. Got to get working on that draft board, by the way.
The taffy is hot fire.
Yes, you are a fan of the taffy, sir.
Yes.
Friday we did a little game night.
We did.
Okay, so despite having played it, I still feel like I understand it, but I definitely don't put the ins and outs of the game to work for me in Tiny Epic Galaxies.
Okay.
So I like the game, but I never understand what following does, and I never really put the card, when you get cards, I don't put the actions to use for me like I should.
Well, I think
that just comes from not playing it enough, to not understanding the mechanics of things I can do.
In that game, the following mechanic is a very interesting mechanic that's extremely situational.
Okay.
It's not something you're going to use a lot. And all the times I've played, I've maybe did following like half a dozen times.
Okay.
So it's extremely situational. The action cards for the planet There's like some really good ones in there, like the one we had out there that allowed you to perform another action.
Right.
That's very strong because then you get like a free advancement in orbiting every time you're playing.
Right.
They're very situational. I think primarily when you're going after a planet, you're going after it first for the points.
Yeah,
and then
primary,
secondary for. Like I've rarely seen in that game you build like an engine of planet abilities that are just handing you over the game.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. I feel like maybe I should be doing that, and I haven't because I just don't play the game enough.
I mean,
or not. I don't know.
As much as I've played the game, I've won a bunch, I've lost a bunch, and like I just kind of go for the points. Some of the abilities, a lot of times the abilities are more useful when they're on the lineup than they are when you actually own them.
Go figure.
So, I think that's interesting though. But yeah, that is Tiny Epic Galaxy is really fun, but that is not the only game we played.
No, I was saving the meat for second, and that is Kittens in Blenders. Is that what it's called?
Yes,
Kittens in Blenders.
We played Kittens in Blenders.
Yeah. So not from the makers of Exploding Kittens.
No.
So they're in a kitten tabletop game kind of brand war, whether they know it or not.
Possibly.
Okay. Well, despite the market confusion, it's a good game.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Now, warning: there are no kittens were actually blended in real life to make this game, and there are no like gore cards or anything like that.
No.
It's implied that you're putting the kittens in the blender, but for such a simple mechanic of like they're either in the blender on the table or in the safe box, like there's a lot of play.
Yep,
and it's a good. That's a good little game there.
Yeah, it's worth every penny of the $15 I paid for it.
It's solid. Rock solid. Definitely enjoyed it. That brought us into the weekend. We had a Friendsgiving Saturday evening, which was actually a lot of fun. A lot of consumables were had. I ate probably 3 pounds of food.
That's a good night.
It was brutal, too. I don't know why. I just decided, like, it's Friendsgiving, and I'm going all in.
Yeah.
I went all in. I have 3 more Friendsgivings to go, including Thanksgiving itself. That would be 4.
Yeah.
I might be tapped out.
Lots of DDP yoga. Lots of DDP yoga.
I ate so much. Oh, my God. And drank quite a bit, too. But luckily, we have Uber and Lyft now, so I don't have to worry about getting home. It's great. Worked out nicely for me. Sunday was, watching the Bills game at Moorpat with the old man, and, thank God for beer, because otherwise... I mean, it's comedy, so I enjoy it no matter what. I laugh hilariously at every mishap that befalls them, but,
Every time they throw an interception, do a shot.
Oh, no. We our livers can't handle that. That's really about it. Then last night, caught up on a lot of Lucha Underground in the current season. We're basically right up to the start of Ultima Lucha Quattro, and it's a 2-parter. I think we have both parts to watch next week.
Cool.
And I think that's going to conclude Lucha Underground, possibly forever. We'll see.
It seems to be a trend with that show at the end of every season. You don't quite know if it's coming back.
The logistics of it are just very complicated. Like, acquiring talent, when it started, the contracts that they made talent sign were not that great.
Yeah.
And as a result, they kind of got a bad rap. So now they have to kind of undo some of their bad rap with the contracts and acquiring guys to get on the show. They lost a lot of character because there was such a big gap between season 2 and season 3. No, season 3 and now the current one, season 4. I think that's yes, yeah. A lot of guys didn't come back or couldn't come back because they had signed on elsewhere exclusively.
Yeah.
So they got to write around it, and they have to, unfortunately, a lot of characters, not a lot, but characters and enjoyed were killed unceremoniously off screen. It's just mentioned that they're dead. Like, oh, well, that stinks. So, yeah, the quality on this season was just very wildly inconsistent. But leading up to Ultima Lucha, it's been really good. Great matches, great feuds. So, that's fun. But I don't know what's going to happen in the future of the show. No one really does. But whatever, it's cool. I still dig it. And a lot of the guys that were on it have gone on to bigger and better things. So,
is the Max still there?
Oh yeah, of course. And he's one of the main guys.
Is the Hunter guy still there?
Yes. And why can't I think of his name? King Cuerno. Yes.
Okay.
He is.
I wanted to say Cuervo the Hunter.
Now in season 3, I'm not sure if you've seen season 3. He's really not in season 3 very much at all. He has a big return at like the end of it, and then he's a big guy in season 4. He's in he's in a lot of stuff.
Season 3 never got on Netflix, so
yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah,
like 1 and 2 are there. Like, why not 3? I don't know. It's we'll see where it goes. I would like it to continue, but at the same time, like, it really did have a big falling off point in season 4, and I'm worried that might not be. They might not be able to like recapture that magic again. Gotcha. So we'll see. But that basically brings us to the here and the now. Cool. How was your week? I kind of know, but
so yeah, we recorded Tuesday night. Had a really fun show. Thank you again to Kate and Nate Lockhart for coming on. It was a blast. And then Wednesday was Halloween. So I got home from work and got the little man all dressed up, and he went over to the grandmother's and did a little bit of trick-or-treating there while I was home handing out candy. Got a decent amount of kids, not as many as last year, but I'd say between like 25 and 30.
It's not bad.
No, it's not horrible.
Are you still giving out the full candy bars?
I just, I ran out of time this year and I couldn't get out to get them, but they will definitely, this year was another case of when I had the time to do things for Halloween, I didn't have the energy, and when I had the energy to do things for Halloween, I didn't have the time.
Vicious circle.
Yeah. So they'll definitely be making a return for next year. My mother-in-law got 191 kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where does she live?
Well, she lives in like the nice ritzy part of NT. So
see, with social media now, kids they know.
Yeah, they know where to go. They know where to find the upper middle class white people.
There's probably an app for this.
If there isn't,
some
we need to make
smart
one.
Kid probably made an app of like,
that's true.
Where is the good stuff?
Yeah. So Halloween was going all fine and dandy and all, and then my phone rings, and I get a call from my employer.
Was the call coming from inside the house?
No, it was not coming from inside the house.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I get you. Julie loves the Scream movies.
Yeah.
Loves them. And a couple years back, we watched all 4 of them. I'd never seen them before. And
you don't need all 4.
1 is great. 1 is legendary. 2 and 3, okay, fine. 4 is, 4 is not great. But you know what annoyed me? And this probably goes from not watching a lot of horror films, is that the amount of people who died relatively quickly after getting stabbed in the stomach. You know how long it takes you to die from a stomach wound?
Probably. It's a long time.
It's a long freaking time, man. So, yeah. All right.
Okay.
That aside. So, I get a call from my employer, and they tell me that they are laying me off. So, I am currently unemployed. Now, granted, I did not like where I was by any stretch of the imagination. The work environment was extremely toxic. It was a job I was recruited for, and I left. They say the grass is always greener. It's not always the case. You kind of appreciate the grass you were on when you go over to the supposed greener side. I left a very stable job that I was at for a very long time. Took a chance on this one and was there 3 months, and then they wouldn't elaborate on it all. Like, they said it was simply a business move. My guessing is that they were just cutting their payroll. So, yeah. So I have been doing the 21st century job hunt, hitting all the websites. And I will say this, having to search for a job nowadays is much, much easier than it used to be.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, filling out a job application is one of the most tedious and annoying things you ever have to do. But like sites like Indeed and LinkedIn and like all the job sites that are out there right now, just a couple clicks of button, your application's in, your resume's in, whatnot. So it's the first time I've been unemployed since 2004. And even in 2004, I was unemployed for less than a month. So, I mean, there's some concerns. I'm 40 now, and now granted, age doesn't have the stigma that it used to in the job market, at least I hope. But we'll see what happens. See where I end up. So that was Wednesday night. That just I kind of took the next couple days just kind of clear my head and just kind of relax and filter through all the negativity and whatnot and try to get past it. And just
laying in your pajamas all day, hating yourself, eating chips. Not bathing.
I mean, I don't
need a glass cage of emotions.
I don't need to hate myself to eat chips. I mean,
but it helps.
It does make them taste a little saltier. No, it was just Thursday night was X-Wing night, so it was fun to get out there and kind of get into that and get some games in, help to clear my head. So yeah, the past couple of days I've been just spending a lot of time putting in applications and whatnot.
Well, it's at least beneficial, like you said, that you can just one-click stuff now. The thing that always kills me, because I've done job searches in my day, are the sites or the employers, for that matter, or whatever, where they want you to upload your resume, but also fill out their form. It's like, dude, if I'm sending you the resume, why are you making me do this twice?
Yeah, I'll fill out the form, but don't make me send you the resume things. Then just doing repetitive.
One or the other, man.
So yeah, Friday night we had game night, as we mentioned. That was fun. Saturday was Duty Dice Day, which didn't have a huge number of attendance. Thank you very much to Alan Waiters who came out. It was me and Alan for a little bit. Then my friends Jenny and Steve came over. So we got some games in. Alan and I cracked open his new copy of Blood Rage. And
I saw there was a call out on the interwebs.
Yeah, Alan's still bitter at your wife Jen for back from the first time we played Blood Rage. And I have yet to lose a game of Blood Rage I've played since that first game. So
just wait till Jen gets back.
We'll see.
You should be afraid.
We'll see. No, I mean Jen's ability to win games notwithstanding, I've had a pretty good run, 5 or 6 games, Blood Rage. So that was fun. Played Kittens and Blenders, and I did not fare nearly as well as I did Friday night. Half my deck was in the blender when a blend card was thrown out, and I could not stop it. And I was just like, all right.
I think what happened on Friday.
I believe my final score was -8.
See, I think what happened on Friday is that Jen and I got into a subdued
tug of war,
and you being the third man,
and I was just like, I'm just gonna put my kittens in the box over here.
You casually were just winning the game until we realized, wait a minute. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We won't make that mistake again.
Yep. So yeah. So that was it. Sunday was just kind of chill out, and then yesterday and today's been all job hunting.
All right.
So that is our weeks. Dear listeners, if you would like to tell us about your weeks, if you would like to communicate with the show anyway, send us any questions or comments to be read on the show, you can do so at the following locations. You can go to Twitter and follow us at Devils Do Pod. You can go to Facebook.com/Devils Do Pod. Please like our page. You can email us at thedevilsdopod@gmail.com, or you can have all these resources available to you on the Devils Do Podcast.com. Drew, that being said, we do have one email today from a Mr. J. Gelsomino.
Hey!
Hey, Jay. Drew and Carl, given that today is voting day, who is your favorite politician in movie/TV history?
Ooh. Favorite movie / favorite politician in movie TV history. That's a very specific thing, is it not? The easy thing to say, like, oh, Bill Pullman in Independence Day or whatever, because he gave the speech and kind of stupid. But
yeah,
I
need a little more in the speech from.
Yeah. I'm a 90s HBO kid.
Okay.
Jay will understand. I got to go with Dave.
Dave.
It's hard to argue Dave. Good guy.
Okay.
Dave's a good guy. He once caught a fish this big. Yeah, you remember.
I got you. Okay, I have one for TV and then a tie for movies.
Go on.
My one for TV is easy. For my favorite show of all time, Josiah Jed Bartlett. President Bartlett.
That's the West Wing?
The West Wing,
okay.
Yes. If you have never watched, I highly recommend watching it. It'll make you say, "Aw, why can't we have that guy?" Of course, watching SpongeBob SquarePants right now makes me go, "Aw, why can't we have that anemone?" For movies, it's a tie. The president from Mars Attacks, Jack Nicholson.
Okay.
And Governor Tarkin, Grand Moff Tarkin.
He was addressed as governor.
I believe the Grand Moffs were also regional governors.
And they had direct control of their territories.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And as has been said before, he successfully reduced crime and poverty on Alderaan to 0.
I'm pretty sure he also reduced the birth rate to 0.
Listen, you take a little negative with a lot of positive.
Okay, yeah.
Drew.
Quite the platform he's got there. Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's no moon.
It's a killing machine.
You say killing machine, I say space station.
Called the Death Star.
Yeah.
Semantics.
Death is a subjective term.
Uh-huh. It's metaphorical.
It's metaphorical. So is the giant planet-killing laser.
Right, yeah.
Drew, if you had the option to book a match for this Friday's NJPW/Ring of Honor show using only the talent on the card, what match would you have made?
Only the talent on the card? Well, since I can't make the obvious statement and say I would have booked Kenny Omega not in Poughkeepsie on the same night as a show.
Not on the card.
I know he's not on the card. Stupid. We could do something along the lines of, say, the Bucks versus Naito and Sonata, maybe. Or, main event, Beer City Bruiser versus Bushi. That's for Jay.
Did you say the Beer City Bruiser?
I said, yeah.
Beer City Bruiser.
The Beer City Bruiser.
Okay.
He's ROH's premier star, Carl.
Okay.
I'm laying the sarcasm on very thickly.
Take your word for it.
But
he sounds like he would be the Brooklyn Brawlers tag team partner.
The Brawlers kind of an upgrade.
Wow.
Kind of. Let's not. I don't want to go. Put it this way, Jay. There'd be a lot more talent on the card were I booking this show. But seeing as it is what it is, we're gonna have a good time anyway. So let's not rest on negativity.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, Carl. What are your top 5 musicals? Specify if it was the play or the movie, since, for example, Russell Crowe is so bad in Les Mis, he makes the movie hilariously bad. Okay, top 5 musicals. Number 5. No. Okay, number 5, West Side Story. Because I was in it in high school, so got nostalgic reasons there.
Were you a Jet?
No, I was Bernardo. I was the leader of the Sharks.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
The worst Hispanic accent you've ever heard in your life. I sounded more Russian than...
Those are 2 different things, man.
I know. It was bad.
Well done.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Number 4, Blues Brothers. That's a musical.
Okay.
Number 3, Phantom.
Like the Andrew Lloyd Webber Phantom?
Yeah.
By Phantom by phone?
Wow. Wow. That might be, folks, that might be the deepest cut ever on The Devil's Due.
Of everything I remember about that play, that's what I remember.
By Phantom, by phone.
Yeah. How to get tickets.
Yeah. 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 And I'm one of the few people that actually enjoy the film version.
They made a movie of the musical?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was actually directed by Joel Schumacher.
Oh.
And it came out at a time where I was doing movie reviews for paper. And the title of my review was, Joel Schumacher finally makes a good Batman movie.
Did the Phantom have nipples?
No. No, we did not.
Are we sure Joel Schumacher directed this movie?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
So that was number 3. Number 2, Rock of Ages. And number 2 would have been number 1 had, obviously, The Greatest Showman not come along and taken number 1 spot.
All right.
So without giving it like a ton of deep thought, that's just kind of off the top of my head. Top 5 musicals. That was 5, right? Yeah.
So you have no love for like The Sound of Music and
you know what?
Mary Poppins and
it's
all that stuff.
Sound of Music is Julie's favorite musical.
Okay. And
I'm not allowed to watch it anymore with her for reasons that I will convey to you after we get done.
Okay. Were you pointing out plot holes and inconsistencies?
No.
What hack fraud wrote this?
Yeah, it's a musical's got to do something a little bit different.
Okay.
For me to kind of get on board with it. So
fair enough.
I'm by no means a musical connoisseur.
Okay.
Right. I cannot make an argument for what is a good musical over what is not. I know what I like.
Okay.
So yeah. All right. That does it for the emails. Jay, thank you very much. And now we move on to our very folks. We had to dig.
Everyone's in a holding pattern for some reason right now.
There's not a lot of news out there. We got some stuff to talk about.
Okay.
The first one being, it was announced earlier this week that Ewan McGregor has been cast as the Black Mask in a Birds of Prey movie.
All right. Let's work through this really quickly. Carl.
Yes.
Who is the Black Mask?
He is a Batman villain. He's a crime boss. He wears a black skull mask.
Okay, so it's not just a clever name.
Yeah, no, it's a really cool character, and I enjoy the character. So yeah, that's who he is.
And who are the Birds of Prey?
The Birds of Prey is a team that came out of the late 90s, early 2000s, if memory serves, consisting primarily of Barbara Gordon, then wheelchair-bound Barbara Gordon, a.k.a. Oracle. Dinah Lance, a.k.a. Black Canary.
Okay.
Whoever was that Earth's version of the Huntress.
Okay.
And those were like the core 3 members. And I know that other members have cycled through over the years. I couldn't say who like the definitive team is.
That sounds about...
Yeah.
That's who I would expect.
Yeah.
But that's not going to be the lineup in this alleged movie, right?
Oh? What is the lineup going to be?
Isn't it going to be Batgirl and Harley Quinn and maybe Poison Ivy and stuff?
Sure. Dude, this movie's not getting made.
Hang on.
I'm going to put it out there on Front Street. This movie's not going to get made.
That's my line, and I had to eat that when this Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie started happening for reals. So
that's fine. We can say it. Sometimes we're wrong.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, it's dude's name. Just say it.
I don't know how to say it.
It's Joaquin. There you go.
Sure it is.
It's a legitimate name.
I'm sure it is. To him.
It's a legitimate name.
Is it though?
Yes. It's Hispanic in nature.
Is it?
Yes.
All right. I don't buy it. His brother was named River.
Well, his parents were clearly hippies.
You see
but
here.
Joaquin is a legitimate name. You know how I know that?
No.
It's not so much that I have no culture, which, let's be honest, I could probably use a lot more culture. But it's because in the movie Mask of Zorro, one of the kids were named Joaquin.
All right. Fair enough.
All right. Mask of Zorro is an awesome movie.
I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah, we've said this a bunch. This movie's not getting made. We've been right more times than we've been wrong.
For now.
Yeah.
I think we probably said this about Shazam, too.
No, I didn't say that about Shazam. I said it about Batgirl.
Yeah.
I did say it about Batgirl.
Aquaman. I think I might have said that it's not happening.
That was you. I was fairly confident that one was going to get done. But yeah.
We can pretty confidently say The Flash is not happening, right? I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
We're okay with that.
That movie's not happening. I don't see this one happening.
Well, I mean, when's Ewan McGregor going to have time when he's, making his Obi-Wan prequel? Oh, wait. We're not making that either.
Would have liked to have seen that.
Just like that Boba Fett movie. That's also as dead as Boba Fett.
Would have liked to have seen that too.
I have good news for you. You'll see a red version of it on television.
Nah.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah. So Ewan McGregor cast as Black Mask in a Birds of Prey movie. That probably isn't going to happen.
All right.
Yeah.
What's going on with that Nightwing movie? Is that happen?
That's not happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's not going to happen.
Okay. What is happening?
Not a lot this week, Drew.
All right.
Not a lot.
What else you got there on the old news pile?
As you alluded to earlier as we were getting ready to record, we've spoken about before the talented folks at Illumination are doing a Super Mario Brothers movie, an animated film. Now,
this is cause for concern in a way.
More so for you than for me.
Well, I mean, okay, put it this way. Nintendo's characters are more like, in a sense, avatars for the player than they are fleshed out characters. So making a movie about them and like codifying them with personality traits and like actual narrative arcs and stuff could be a little risky. And let's be honest, we've been down the Mario path once before, sir. And it
was a different time.
It was a wild sci-fi adventure film, but I don't know if it was Super Mario Brothers.
It was a film that was made by someone who touched that super mushroom that was a little past its prime.
Yeah.
Bad trip. But it's a different time now.
It is.
This is an animated film.
Right.
Illumination is very capable when it comes to animated films. The Despicable Me 1 and 2 were fantastic. Secret Life of Pets was fun. They're good with the stuff, but
they have a good track record. And I saw this quote from producer Chris Meledandri. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Okay.
He's producing the movie. He produced the Despicable Me movies. He produced The Secret Life of Pets. And he said, quote, Where's that quote? It's juicy. It's juicy for me anyway. It gives me a little faith. He says, quote, they're working this is the quote, but they're working very closely with Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto, the guy who basically built Nintendo into what it is today, effectively. He says, we're keeping...
the Stanley of video games, if you will.
Kind of. I mean, not all video games, but of Nintendo, he is their Stan Lee for sure.
Yeah.
And their Jack Kirby kind of in one.
Yeah.
He's kind of the architect of the whole thing. And the quote here is about Miyamoto. We're keeping him front and center in the creation of this film. I've rarely seen that happen with any adaptation where the original creative voice is being embraced like we're embracing Miyamoto. Okay, cool. I hope he's being honest, and I hope that's true, and it's not just like fanboy soothsaying.
Yeah.
But the fact that Nintendo's kind of going ahead with this tells me that it's probably true. Because that Super Mario Brothers movie scared the crap out of them back in the day, and they've never done another licensed adaptation since. They have not done anything. But now, it's a new era.
Maybe this will be closer to the Super Mario Brothers Super Show than it was to the Super Mario Bros. Live action movie.
So you want us to dig up Lou Albano?
If we can.
I mean, is Mario going to be doing the Mario in this movie?
I would not be upset if I saw it. This is what I want to see. Like, if you were to remake a Super Mario Bros. Live action movie, I would want it to be, and you'll hate this, but I think it would be amusing.
Go on.
Danny DeVito as Mario.
Oh my God.
Until he finds the mushroom, and then he turns into the Rock.
What mushrooms are you on?
And we bring back John Leguizamo as Luigi.
Only if he has a mustache this time. That bothered the crap out of me. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. It could be cool.
Yeah.
Kind of related, kind of not. Captain Marvel herself, Brie Larson, tweeted out a picture on her Instagram of her in a Samus Zero Suit costume for Halloween. And then it led to a lot of chatter on the interwebs. And she says she would very much like to take on that role.
Yeah.
Okay.
How does that not make money? So,
Metroid?
Aliens, but family friendly.
Dude.
Because no, Nintendo wouldn't do.
No, I mean, it would, I mean, Metroid's a fairly, of all of Nintendo's franchises, it's the most adult, air quotes.
Yeah.
So you could, it would be a firm PG-13, probably.
Yeah.
You could do it.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to, that's a tough one. That's a tough nut to crack. And I don't know, to be really honest with you, I don't know if I trust Nintendo to fully understand the appeal of Metroid to make that movie. Yeah. I might want them kept at arm's reach on that one.
Yeah.
I would want the Western developer, the Western director and producer who played Super Metroid and has it embedded in their DNA and knows exactly what's awesome about it to tell Nintendo, we got it from here. You and your other M team stay over there and don't ever write Samus and don't ever let her talk again.
That also reminds me. I guess the executive producer of the Castlevania animated series,
I saw this rumor pop up,
says he wants to do a Zelda series, and I've heard nothing. I have not had a chance to watch the second season of Castlevania yet.
I've watched 2 or 3 episodes.
How is it so far?
It's good in the way that the first season was good.
Yeah.
It's got some annoying quirks that I don't need, but it's written by Warren Ellis, so of course it does. So
okay.
I'm not a Warren Ellis guy. I'm sorry.
I know.
But it's overall pretty good, and they're getting to. They just in the episode I saw, Trevor Belmont, right? Yeah, Trevor. Sure. He is going back to his ancestral Belmont home, and it's been long abandoned. And
yeah, you gonna find the bomber jacket?
No, that's Simon, and that comes later, and that's also a completely different show. and interpretation. And they find like his magical tomes, and like the Belmont family is, they're a family of vampire hunters and have been for centuries, yada yada. So it's interesting. He's kind of like reclaiming his family legacy in a way, and that kind of contrasts a little bit with Alucard, who is about to go face his family legacy head to head. So it's good. It's still like, this is so weird because I'm clearly an old man now, right?
Yes.
What I mean by that is this is a cartoon, and it's very good, mind you. But anytime there's like profanity and just exclamations of profanity in this show, I just kind of go like, I don't know, do we need that here? Like, I'm not a prude by any stretch. When I'm not on this family-friendly show, I tend to use colorful metaphors a lot.
Yeah.
But when I'm watching a show, I don't know, about Castlevania, it just strikes me as like, meh.
Don't need it.
I don't need that there.
Yeah.
Yet, all the blood and the gore. But yeah, by all means. I mean, it's Castlevania. It's kind of a horror-based franchise to begin with.
Yep.
But, so it's pretty good. So, but back to the producer saying he wants to do Zelda. Seeing as he got Castlevania made, and it seems to be a big hit, hey, cool. Maybe he could do the Zelda show. My concern with that is I've seen interviews with this producer.
Yeah.
I don't like this guy.
Okay.
Like, he comes off as such an edgelord, Zack Snyder-esque, like, it's going to be so dark and gritty and violent, bro, and he drops F-bombs all the time, like, in interviews, and it's just like, dude. I like your passion. You're at about an 11. I need you at about a 7. Can you come down a little bit?
Just a bit.
So, given just that, I know it's a bad reason to maybe be a little apprehensive about it, but like, I don't know if I need that guy interpreting the Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't need profanity and zaniness in the Legend of Zelda adaptation.
Yeah.
That one I want to be a little more wholesome. You know what I'm saying?
I actually started legitimately playing the original Legend of Zelda this week.
Oh. Yeah. How is it? It's hard.
It's very hard.
Yeah.
I died many, many times. So yeah, but it's like, I definitely get the appeal and whatnot, and it's aged like fine wine. I got all excited when I found a cavern that had a white sword in it. Then I went to go and pick it up, and it said, when you learn to use it, you can have it. I'm like, but I've stabbed so many things
I've done
on
so
the
much
way
stabbing
here. But I've learned so much. Why can't I just have this? I keep walking back and forth over it, and you won't give it to me.
Oh. Well,
but then
yeah.
I fired up of course, I'm playing Zelda on the Switch Online service.
Yeah.
And then I fired up their like special edition Zelda.
Oh, it just gives you everything right away.
I was like, why is Link in a white suit? Why is the sword white? Why do I have all these materials? And why are there like 2 enemies per screen?
Because it's the simpler version. It's the let's hold your hand and play Legend of Zelda.
No.
So
I want the I want the knife.
But you can't have it, apparently.
Please.
Apparently you can't have it.
I can't have it. How do I get that?
Yeah, Zelda's great.
Is that the Master Sword that I found? Whatnot?
The Master Sword didn't become a thing until A Link to the Past. So
okay,
that's a sword that's the better sword in the game that you want to get.
Is that the best sword?
I think so.
Are there just the 2 swords?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do I get the better sword?
I don't know. It's been a while, man.
You're lying.
I don't know. Honestly, I swear to God, I don't know. Zelda 2 I could tell you about more. It's a little more burned to my brain. And Link to the Past I can tell you all about. Link to the Past is my favorite Zelda game.
There was a wonderful rush of excitement the first time I blew a hole open in a wall.
Yeah.
Woo!
And the best part about the original Legend of Zelda is that there's spots where you can do that and you would have absolutely no clue or preconceived idea that it was even there. which makes the original Legend of Zelda both a great game and a terrible game at the same time.
Gotcha.
Like, it's so...
The dang head.
It's evolved, and it's better now.
Yeah.
The original's a masterwork. I mean, it was the right game at that time.
Yeah.
It set the stage for like this big open world adventure, but by no means is that original game perfect.
Yeah. The dang head that pops up out of the water.
The Zoras
shoots blasts at you. That's the bane of my existence.
Yeah, Zoras are kind of a pain.
That thing's got uncanny good aim.
Yeah. And you don't, despite you having the ability to walk out of the way, it's harder than you think it would be.
Yeah.
Especially when there's a lot of enemies on the screen, you don't want to walk into them.
Yeah.
You should play Link to the Past sometime. I think you'd really like Link to the Past. It's
Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
right?
it's my favorite one. That and Breath of the Wild are my favorite ones.
Okay. I might get there. Okay, last news story. We reported I think it was a couple months back, that there was going to be a Loki and Scarlet Witch series for the Disney streaming app, 2 different like mini series.
Allegedly.
Now we're getting another rumor of a Bucky Falcon team up series.
I mean, sure.
Why not?
All I can think of is them sitting in the car nodding at Cap.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're telling me that this is going to be a regular ongoing series, I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. If you're saying this is going to be like strategy. A mini series, 4 or 5 episodes, I'm like, okay, that'll probably happen. I'll watch that.
I think that is their strategy. I think with their Disney streaming service, I think Marvel is going to be doing mini series of some kind that are closely embedded in the MCU.
Yeah, take those characters that we love and we'd always want just like a little bit more of and give them their own series. So if this precedent's being set, who would you want to see get their own series?
Hawkeye. But they got to fix him first.
The Hawk guy?
That Hawkeye. Yes. So to do that, unfortunately, they would have to basically retcon Age of Ultron. The family, the kids, the wife. Yeah, get out of the way. That's not Hawkeye.
You want Pizza Dog Hawkeye?
That's Hawk guy? Yes. That's the one I want.
I think who would I want? I don't know. Like I think like Hawkeye probably pretty much covers. I'd be in for like a Warriors 3 miniseries.
Well, they're dead.
Just them. Yeah, they're dead. Well, they're Asgardians.
They get better.
They get better.
That's what they do.
Or Korg and Meek. Give me a Korg and Meek Excellent Adventures.
They should call it that. They should literally call it that.
Down. I'm in. Shut up. Take all of my money. Korg and Meek's Excellent Adventures.
You hear that, Kevin Feige? When you announce this next week, we want a royalty check.
We're giving you gold.
He's got a notepad right now. Like
he does.
That's a good idea. Yeah. But you know what's weird about this? Because if this is the Disney Marvel strategy going forward, that's fine. It makes all the sense in the world. But you know what makes it sad?
What?
Like, dude, I can already see it happening, and our little Netflix corner, our Marvel Knights corner, if you will.
Yeah,
man, it's gonna get brushed aside. And
you know what?
I'm soaking up this Daredevil season, and I am basking in it.
Yeah,
because it's so good. And I also know that this might not be long for this world.
Having finished the current season of Daredevil, if this was it, I'd be okay with it.
Okay. All right. I'm not done yet.
We can always rebrand the show, and I'm sure dear listeners will stay with us and whatnot. But like if we didn't get anything further from the Netflix Marvel stuff, I'd be okay.
All right.
I'd be like it's. I'd rather not get anything further then get a family-friendly version.
Okay. No, I hear you. They've set a tone.
Yeah.
And I like it.
I think there's a lot of credence to the possibility of these shows moving over to Hulu. And if you want to continue on with those shows on there, that's fine as long as you keep them the same. But yeah, if this is like kind of the swan song of it, I'm okay with that. But we will cross that bridge when we come to it.
I also think though, like these Falcon and Bucky and Scarlet Witch and all that, like that stuff is going to be directly tied in some capacity to the MCU. And our little Netflix corner has always just kind of been a one-way street.
See,
where we mention it, we talk, we toss out events and landmarks and like the invasion, yada yada. Captain America gets name dropped and things, but we never never get wind of them in the movies. Specific events don't get like, dude. This just dawned on me the other day. When does Daredevil season 3 take place? Because we're in an MCU where Thanos has killed half the universe.
Well, clearly it takes place before.
It must, right?
That.
But
yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a big deal that it's kind of, we don't talk about it at all.
Yeah.
Sokovia happened, superpower registration. No one's knocking on Luke Cage's door telling him to go sign up and, register and all that stuff. Like, does it matter? No, because I enjoy the shows. It's fine. But, come on, man. Like, wouldn't I have wanted to see Spider-Man and Daredevil doing some stuff in Age of in Infinity War? Of course I would. That would rule hard. But it'll never happen.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. I would definitely very much like to see Matt visit Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
The Sanctum Sanctorum. You know what the idea of these shows kind of remind me of, though, is what they used to do on the Blu-rays with the shorts.
The one-shots.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they stopped doing those, too.
Yeah, and the one that I want followed up on the most was the one from the Thor Dark World DVD that had the Mandarin, air finger quotes, in jail. And then at the end, he gets snatched by what is apparently the actual Mandarin. So, yeah. Want to see more about that? Yeah.
Well, on this Marvel streaming service or Disney, you might.
Who knows? Well, speaking of Daredevil, we have to dive into the goodness that is. Are those really your notes?
No, my notes are on my phone, but I wanted to get back to our roots here.
Yep. All right, so we are getting back to Daredevil Season 3 and Episode 2 called Please, or as my son likes to say, Peace.
Can't quite string those consonants together yet.
So adorable when he does it. Peace.
So, all right, I have to reset my brain because I'm going to show you here. You can't see it's a visual medium, folks. But see, those are my notes. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. So I have to go back to 2.
Yeah.
So I got to reset my brain a little bit.
What episode are you on now?
I just finished 7. Can't spoil anybody yet.
No, we're not going to spoil.
But we're moving along.
Yes.
Things are happening.
Yes.
Never mind. We're going to get to all that in the weeks ahead. There.
So, episode 2, please. We open up with an FBI roundup.
Yeah, they're making some headway into crime and stuff.
Yeah.
Because someone gave them the scoop on all the crime and stuff.
Someone's a squealer.
A big, fat squealer.
He's not fat.
No.
It's all muscle.
Well, speaking of which, we see him in prison.
Yes.
Lifting that weight.
Fisk is in the weight room.
So, I had a nitpick here.
Yeah.
So I read an article... and I don't know, I can't speak unilaterally for the entire prison system in the United States.
Yeah.
But from what I read, in prison, they do not have free weights. Well, any weighted denominations are welded to bars and things like that.
Yeah.
Because they don't want those things being used as weaponry against other inmates. So, nitpick. nitpick here.
Yeah, a little bit.
But he's doing the work until
stabby.
He gets the toothbrush shiv.
Yep,
in the gut.
Someone calls him a squealer, and he gets a little stab.
Yeah.
Little
now
prick.
something's up because he lets the guy live.
Yeah.
This is a guy who smashed a gentleman's head in a car door.
Yep.
In a famous scene from season 1.
Yep.
And here, he lets this guy who just stabbed him, lets him go.
Well, he's mellowing out nowadays. Yeah.
Or, as we know, he is up to something. Can't kill a guy and then, get away with it.
Yeah.
So, let him off and then use this to your advantage.
Yep.
Strategery.
As we see later in the episode.
Yes.
But before we do, we have Sister Maggie picking up Matt off the floor.
Yeah, so, again, Matt he's quite beat up after his little adventure in the first episode.
Yeah, his attempt.
It's a basic suicide attempt in a way. But he's also, he's physically banged up, and as we have seen, he's also spiritually banged up.
Yes. Matt, we're seeing Matt on a really interesting journey. Especially you kind of see like the beginnings of it in this episode more than the last episode. And he asked a very interesting question of what if you can't answer your calling? What if you can't do what you feel God has put you here to do? And, Sister Maggie has a response that's kind of along the lines of find something else to do. And Matt has a very quick and I think probably accurate rapport of, if you can do something else, then it wasn't your calling.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, obviously you feel for the character because his identity has been absolutely rocked to the core of what he is and see, here's the one thing that kind of bumped up against the first time and second time around is I wish they could do this without the trope of losing the powers.
Well,
because it seems like in a lot of other films and movies that deal with superheroes, the crisis of character is always caused by the losing of the powers. At least in this, we have a somewhat explainable reason for why he's losing his powers. He's severely injured, got a building dropped on him, whatnot. But for example, Spider-Man 2, fantastic Spider-Man film, still probably the best Spider-Man film. And this is part of that where he's going on that, who am I journey. And the catalyst of it is he loses his powers. And there's that's the worst part of that film is that there's no explanation of why he loses his powers.
Yeah.
They just disappear and then come back.
Yeah. It was weird. But I mean, at least Matt, he's losing. Well, I wouldn't say he's lost them. They're just a little wonky still. Clearly watching the show, dude, he still has them.
Yeah.
But they are somewhat compromised. Somewhat.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So,
and she's dishing out the tough love too.
Yeah.
She's tough.
And we get the flashback with young Matt and Father Lantham.
Now, I didn't realize that him and the priest went back that far.
Oh yeah, he was an orphan at the.
Well, I knew that. I didn't, for whatever reason, I forgot that priest was that. He was there then.
Yeah.
I thought that Matt and him kind of chummed up later on, like in season 1.
Yeah.
I guess not.
Yeah, I like this scene, especially with what the priest has to say about the subtlety of God. Something I've experienced in my life, in my walk in faith, surely. The whole line of the whole burning bush thing doesn't really happen anymore. He works in subtleties and whispers, and I agree with that statement. I like that we see Matt kind of. This is definitely post stick leaving him, and you could still see evidence of his training, and we still see that he's using that training because, like, he's getting in the fights, but no one will blow him in because they don't want to admit they got beat up by a blind kid.
Well, that's going to come back. That's going to come back around again. People are going to get suspicious of Matt, and soon.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that, of course, though. So, dude, they're still giving this Fed crap over money. Like, he's got Fisk singing. They're busting dudes left and right. It's good times at the FBI office, and this guy still, they won't give him any money. They're like no.
Yeah,
can't.
There's probably more to it than that. Obviously, as we learn in later on down the line. But yeah, it's clear to see that Nadeem is overeager and kind of maybe not using the best judgment when dealing with Fisk.
No, clearly. No. Yeah. He's getting played, and that's going to be a theme of the season. He sees
Fisk as his golden ticket, and like that's playing right into Fisk's hands.
Yes. And that's going to continue on. So Matt's doing some detective work, but so is Karen. And we find out some details about Karen.
Yes.
So
we start to get more background on Karen's past that's been alluded to in previous seasons, not necessarily fully disclosed. But she drops a big one here in this episode.
Apparently had a brother.
Yeah, who has died.
Yeah.
And people thought she killed him. Is that from the comics?
But the brother? I don't think so. See, in the show here, her brother is the one who dies of the drug overdose and all that. He's the one who is all messed up, right? Didn't they say that? Like her brother was on drugs and tore the family apart and blah, blah, blah?
Yeah, you haven't gotten to the Karen flashback episode yet.
I guess not, but it's in this episode, that's what's kind of stated.
Yeah.
She says, like, my brother was on drugs, it was really hard, blah, blah, blah. In the comics, Karen was the one who was all messed up, and that's kind of how Matt's identity gets exposed in Born Again.
Yeah.
So Karen is harboring a lot of secrets, and, we start to kind of get a glimpse into that mysterious Karen past in this season. In this episode, the first little glimpse, her mentioning that she had a brother that we hear up till now had no idea about.
Yeah.
So she's also hearing stories about
the guy in a black mask.
Doing that work in town.
Sounds familiar.
It does, especially since she doesn't want to admit that Matt could possibly be dead.
Yeah.
So he's not, but
yeah. And the warmth in this episode comes, as it usually does, from Foggy.
It does. We get Foggy family time.
Yeah, we get to see the whole Nelson clan and Nelson meets and whatnot. We meet the Nelson meets.
We do. And I thought at first they were going to kind of guilt him a little and kick him when he's down over, like, these are clearly working class people.
Yeah,
and
blue
Foggy,
collar.
Yeah, and Foggy is now big shot lawyer with the Hogarths and all that business.
Yep.
And there's a little bit of that. They razz him a little, but Foggy is not one to forget his roots. And he's clearly, very much still a blue collar guy deep down.
And his mother asks him to come back and help his brother with the business.
Yeah.
And
he's not necessarily opposed to it.
He's not, because he's
kind of lost.
He doesn't. He's gotten everything he always said he wanted in earlier seasons.
Right.
But now he's starting to see how kind of shallow that can be.
Not to mention, for everything he has lost his best friend.
Yeah.
And it's clearly he misses him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's obvious. But yeah, like the mother, it's weird because like the mother just kind of almost tries to guilt him, not like 100%, but she's kind of just like laying down the facts. And the father's just like, I'm proud of you. You're out there, you're doing what you want to do, whatnot, slounging, all that.
Yeah.
And then the brother is kind of the same way. Like, you need to do your thing. You were terrible at this anyway. But yeah, no, it's good to see, like, there's a warmth that's conveyed in these scenes that's sorely lacking from the rest of not only the episode, but the rest of the show. And I don't say that in a bad way. It's very intentional that the show doesn't have that warmth to it, but it's good that there's like a source for it in these scenes with Foggy.
Well, considering all the characters in this series, and I mean all the characters basically, except Foggy, have really rough childhoods and backgrounds.
They got issues.
Foggy is the one who's like normal.
Yeah.
And he's also the one who, in this show, like you said, he is really the central family figure in a way. He's the one who pulls everyone together and wants everyone to be together and knows that they all work well together. That's a somewhat of a spoiler for episodes to come, but that Foggy's like the anchor. He's the rock.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's the heart
as
and soul.
Unlikely as it is, he is.
Yep. So skipping to the end of the episode, Fisk has manipulated his way out of prison, but into house arrest.
Yeah.
And in transit, we kind of get his philosophies on love, which, dude, Vincent D'Onofrio just kills this role.
He's very good.
Like, I'll listen to Fisk talk about anything.
Well, it's always going to start with, when I was a boy. There's a great meme going around about that.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's awesome. It's hilarious. I'll find it. It's great.
So, but the caravan gets ambushed.
Sure does.
And
this reminded me of The Dark Knight.
Yes.
The Joker escape scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. Like, they're under fire. They are under siege. They're under attack, trying to escort Fisk to his quarters.
And then we get...
It's chaos.
All the FBI guys are just wiped out.
They're getting wiped out. Fisk's van gets... or his truck gets tipped over.
Yeah.
He is being encroached upon by gunmen.
Doers of ne'er-do-well.
And he is saved by quite the marksman.
Yes.
Who kills many people.
Many. Even with the empty clip for the gun. Doesn't even bother reloading. I'm sure there are many guns there on the ground. He's ricocheting bullets. And,
yes.
Yeah. So,
and then he saves Fisk.
Yes.
This not rogue, but this intrepid agent.
Special Agent Ben Poindexter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know who this is.
More to come from him.
So much more. But what an introduction.
Yes.
I was grinning like an idiot during this whole sequence.
Yep.
In fact, I'm grinning like an idiot through most of this season.
Yes.
Especially anything having to do with Poindexter.
Yeah. I think it's really, it might be the best season of the show.
I'm 7 episodes in, and I think I agree wholeheartedly. And I mean, it could still completely go off the rails. Based on you and many other people's reactions, I find that very unlikely. It's great. Season 2 had the Punisher and Elektra.
Yeah,
and I thought
you know what's funny? When the shooting started, the first time I saw this episode, I was like,
"You thought it was
Frank? Frank?"
I guess I didn't. I don't know why I didn't.
You know, Frank wants Fisk.
Yeah. Well, he's too busy, being all sentimental now, and he's in meetings and stuff, wearing his dad jeans. Anyway, like this. I don't care if like people who don't know who Poindexter is and like have no attachment, if they think this is stupid. For all I know, they do. I don't care.
Yeah,
this is like okay. Yeah. Give me more. This is what I've wanted for so long. And it just gets better.
So that does it for episode 2.
This show.
Yeah, so good.
It's just magic. I love it.
Whoa, it's magic.
It's so good. It really is. This season is, I mean, people really harped on season 2. Like, I enjoyed season 2 just fine.
Was great.
But
you gave me Punisher, Elektra, and ninjas.
I know, but among the, I read things, and the going theme with a lot of people is that after the Punisher departs the season, the show takes a huge quality hit, and I disagree. I enjoyed all the Elektra stuff. I thought it was all great, but apparently other people have much different feelings about it, and they see season 2 as inferior. Me, I thought season 2 was great, but I'm telling you, as I sit here, season 3 is so much better. And that's high praise because I really liked season 2.
Yep.
But season 3 so far, 2 episodes that we can talk about and spoilers going forward, man, there is such gravity in this season.
Yes.
And we're gonna get sucked up in it. So moving on.
All right, folks, that about does it for us this week. If you would like to contact us, send the show any questions or comments to be read on the air, you can do so at the following locations. You can follow us on Twitter at Devils Do Pod. You can go to Facebook, like our page at facebook.com/Devils Do Pod. You can email us at thedevilsdopod@gmail.com, or you can find all these resources available to you on our website, thedevilsdopodcast.com. Drew, that being said, any last thoughts?
How am I going to survive 3 more Friendsgivings and Thanksgiving?
Fat pants. Just fat pants. Nothing with a belt. Just drawstring. I mean...
So you're saying I got to go sweats?
For visual purposes, you're not even going to use the drawstring because it's just restricting.
Just tear it right out.
You know what? Does Jen have any of her maternity pants left?
Yes.
Go with those. Go with those.
All right. I might have to do that. Fair enough.
All righty. Folks, thank you again for joining us. We'll catch you next week. Court is adjourned.